Another night cruise in Port Moresby, Papua New Guinea, capital city of Papua New Guinea. Yeah, it's quite risky along this part of the road. So what you see now is I'm riding straight up to the Parliament House of Papua New Guinea. This road was constructed by Chinese people through the funding from the Chinese people. We've got many other places over the 22 provinces in the country. Some areas, some developments took place in those areas through similar funding from Chinese government as well, and some other donor partner countries. So what you see straight up there is the Parliament House. There you go, that's the Parliament House. So basically this is Waigani, one of the many government commercial areas outside in the nation's capital, Port Moresby. So we've got 22 provinces, and this is the capital city. Some of you people might be thinking, especially those people who've never been to many of those other towns in the country, you would be thinking that most of those countries would be looking alike or a little bit closer to what you see here, the national capital. But unfortunately, some of those towns are in very sad states as we speak, or as I speak, and as you're listening. And I can't blame the government, especially the national government, for that. But I think it's the local MPs, the governors, and of course the members of its district should at least prioritize development key infrastructure and facilities to put together. We have a couple of I was to say something. Yeah, natural resources in our country. We have copper, we have gold, we have oil, we have gas, we have nickel, we have everything. Apart from that, we also have the forest industry, we also have the fish, we also have all the good resources that you can name it. We have all of that, but unfortunately this country, I think we lack proper management of the resources we already have. And one thing that hinders most is probably the third world kind of mentation that disturbs people from operating and of course managing most of those resources honestly and with some sort of like accountability. And yeah, this country lacked that sort of a management for I think over 50 years now. We have those resources, those revenue generating resources, very key resources. But the problem is we lack management, we lack honesty, we lack some sort of like a transparency and accountability, managing and of course using those funds generated through those key resources that God blessed this country with. This country, I mean the people of this country. Already now we have Bougainville trying to break away from this country. And I think, as much as I understand the legal bindings and of course the uniqueness of this nation, which many people believe that they should stick to the greater Papua New Guinea. But I'm also trying to think that given the fact that we've been lacking for development, as you get to Bougainville, most of those key infrastructures like the airport, everything is still at a very sad state. So I would say if they happen to manage their own resources, including the funds they collected from the tax and all of that, I think they should be managing their country for at least a bit better. Their province a bit better than what it is today. So because they have that Panguna mine there, and at least at some point they should develop a little town. They should have some proper medical health facilities and some other key infrastructures that people very much need in their entire day-to-day life. So those things are not there in most of those provinces, and Bougainville is an example. So yeah, we are driving past the Jackson's International Airport. What you see, the lights on there, that's the international airport. Well, it needs expansion as well. Taxis are parked there here and there. It's just some sort of proper coordination is needed about the place too. So anyway, the point I'm trying to bring across is what you see here is not the same in any other provinces or all the provinces in the country. I believe we won't be the same. It's 50 years now, but the next 50 years, I believe we see more changes in other provinces or other towns, just like what we see in the city of Port Moresby. But that can only happen if we have some sense of transparency, some sense of honesty, some sense of responsibility, some sense of, at least to some degree, belongingness. We have to be patriots. Those people who are serving the political level or even bureaucratic level, they have to be accountable. They have to be responsible for the trust that the people and the system of government it gives them, you know. Once those things are there, what do you expect? We remain the same. Money coming in, all the revenues go through those loopholes, those gaps, those existing continuous systems of deceitful ways of conducting business, deceitful ways of running the affairs of this country. That's what happened. That was actually what happened. So, but even in the city too, when you go to all the settlements, man, it's quite terrible, you know. And it's also to do with the attitude of the people. Just simple things like when you buy a can of Coke from the store and you take it out from the store, come to the street, you drink it, and how do you throw the remaining or the can itself? You don't have to throw it elsewhere. You have to dispose it to the right place. Likewise to biscuits, if you buy a biscuit from a shop, once you eat the biscuit itself, be responsible for the plastic, you know. Throw it at the right place. Those simple things are needed. If you are residing in one of those settlements or government's state leased properties, you have to be responsible for your actions. You're responsible, your rubbish. You have to be responsible for everything, When you look at Japan, the cleanest city in the world, you know, simple things. Everyone, including children, the important thing that they teach at those schools at the early stage is teaching them how to be responsible. And that's what this country like, I believe. And if you are listening to these and if you believe with me, you better comment. You better, subscribe to this channel as well, so we discuss more and at least promote some sort of like responsibility across our youths, across our citizens, our students. We have to teach them early so they can be responsible. We can forever rely on complaining to the government for what's not there, what should be there, and all of that. We have to at some point be responsible ourselves. Simple things, some simple things, which we can manage and handle. Anyway, that's one of the things I thought I should share with you guys tonight. And so I'm just hitting the road and sharing these. And this year we are left at probably less than 8 or 10 months before the next election for this country, the general elections next year, 2027. Electoral Commission already put out the schedule for the election, polling dates, all of that. And we already have a new electoral commissioner, an expatriate. We believe some sort of change and transparency in that process as well, election process. Especially up in the Highlands, people are already campaigning too early. People funding money here and there. The vying candidates are actually spending money, giving it to the supporters, and trying to put their fame and popularity out there too early. But at least the people have to choose the right leaders. Someone who is mostly trustworthy, someone who is accountable, someone who is knowledgeable as well. And if you're supporting someone you believe, you don't have to expect anything in return. If you are giving something to someone to campaign, you don't have to expect anything in return. All you're expecting is ensuring that he is running the schools at your district, making sure education is prioritized. Not just schools, not just building classrooms, but the quality of the education, You have to see yourself. If the students, your siblings that you send to schools, those primary schools in your provinces, your districts, are they competitive enough to compete with other, primary students from this country as well as other, especially from Port Moresby City and other countries as well? Are they competitive enough? That would prove to yourself. That's the easiest way to monitor the quality of your education. Even the teachers coming out of the teachers' college, are they competitive enough to lead or train the next generation of leaders of this country through the education system? If you consider that, you have to actually support someone who can promote those things. Put the funding directly to most of those key priority areas, making sure the health system in your districts, your community outpost, all of those things are functional. We have trained doctors. The required number of doctors are there. All of those things. We should prioritize those things. Instead of we going around lobbying for someone who can support you, who can, do you a favor, that will not actually change anything. You and your cohorts will just think like that, think of yourself, and the place will remain the same. That's selfishness. In fact, that's a leadership. So we have to consider all those things. 2027 is already here, and we have to see those things as very important. Many young people already are into these youths, public servants, prioritizing politics over anything. But we have to. It's not good. It's not bad. It's good. We are prioritizing and we are, participating in politics, but we must also do that for the good reason. To change the perception, to change the status, to change status of our health, education, our social life back in our communities, law and order issues. How do we address them? How do we prioritize them? We look at the policies, all of that. So that perception has to change. The money thing, people prioritizing money and prioritizing connections over the true meaning of politics and all of that. we are corrupting this country. So one single group of people sending similar kind of leaders, say 22 governors and probably 96 how many members. So those 100 and probably 11 or 12 members leading this country, managing this country. So if we send those like handful, minority of people to the parliament, are they smart? We have the judge. Are they responsible enough? Are they trustworthy? Are they accountable? We have to look at those things so they can manage the affairs of this country effectively. Not just sitting in a parliament to actually get the DSIP funds and come and dish out free cash to people, his supporters at the district level. We have to stop and think, okay? Those are important decisions that we all need to make. If you go to other countries, man, I tell you, they don't play around with these things. I think I've said so much about this country, but yeah, most of those things are facts, and I believe most of you will agree with me. So let's be responsible. Let's look after our country by being responsible in nominating the right person. That's what we individual people can do at this time. So I'll probably stop somewhere here because I talk too much and it's quite boring as well. I don't know how long I've been talking, so anyway, thanks guys. Please, if you are watching, if you happen to have the time to go through this audio or video, make sure to subscribe to my channel and smash that like button, eh? We should be okay. Thank you.